Ed, so what are you prioritizing here?
Just creating a schedule, making my list.
For you?
Yeah. And it's not, you know what?
That shouldn't take very long.
And you know what? It's time.
It's time to make a list?
No, it's time to have lunch, Bill.
Time to have lunch?
Yeah.
You got that down in the schedule?
I'm starving.
Is that in your schedule?
1 o'clock.
So what's the one thing you're gonna do?
When I get back?
No, yeah, when you get the first thing you're gonna do. What's the one thing you're gonna do? Not eat lunch. What's the next thing?
After lunch, you mean?
Uh-oh. It's Head Harvester Bill Orman here from the West Coast.
Head Harvester Ed LaFlamme from the East Coast.
I think we have a time management problem here with Ed, with me, and for everybody out there. Listen, we work with a lot of different people, and if we looked at one skill that we would sharpen for all our leaders and members that we work with, how do they manage themselves and their time? We're all given the same amount of time. Some people get some incredible things done. Some people just go around in circles all day long and they aimlessly meander about the planet Earth. Oh, Ed, you know what I think you need to do?
Yeah.
You need to read this book. If you do one thing on your reading list, one thing, let's see, read the book, The One Thing.
Oh, let me see this book. Let me see this book. Ah, The One Thing. Oh, yeah. This is awesome, Bill. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
I'll do that one thing now. But I tell you what is the one thing we should do first?
Well, the one thing is you should do the one thing that's going to make your job easier or make something go away altogether, make it unnecessary.
Okay.
So the one thing you do each day, you need to block off your time. You have a master list.
Right.
But then have that master list whittled down to what is the one thing on that master list that's going to make your job easier or make something unnecessary, make it go away.
That's a powerful question. Powerful question. But what I like to do, and this is my own personal philosophy, I like to break my list down into 4 different items. I don't know if you do that, but I like critical, urgent, important, and long-term. Then I get a sense of priority. You know, that's how I like to do it. What do you think of that?
I think that's a good start. Yeah. I think you should really, even before you get to that point, I would really examine where you're spending your time right now and look at those time wasters and start eliminating some of those. I know you love that emails and you're checking those and you get a lot of phone calls, and so those really suck up a lot of time and they're somewhat distractors.
It can be.
You got to manage those distractors and put them maybe just a certain time that you react to those distractors and have it under control.
Okay.
But have it prioritized within your list. What is, once again, like he says, the one thing, what's going to leverage you the most to achieve what you're trying to accomplish? So what are your goals and where are you going to block off some time to spend some time to leverage yourself to achieve your goals?
Yeah,
and those could be
point.
short-term and they could be long-term as well.
That's good. That's good. So what we need to do is work on the most important thing on these lists. Now, we're not just talking about, I know I said critical. Well, you have to do critical things first. That's obvious. They have to be done. Then you've got the urgent. You have to decide which of those urgent do you have to do, because otherwise they become critical. But the key is to get those things out of the way so you're working on the important things. That's the key. Isn't that true?
Yeah, but you still need to block off some time.
Right.
And try not, and don't multitask. Do the little things over here and the big things over there and the medium things over there. Block off time. I used to reserve time in the morning and the afternoon for those little busy things. I get distracted, have my distractions, and I blocked that time off to be distracted. I blocked off time to be distracted. Then I protected time in the middle there that I'd be off on, I'd take a hike somewhere and be by myself and really focus in for at least 1 hour at a time. Really focused attention without any interruption to get that done.
That's good advice. Good advice. And then, of course, once you do that and you partition this time, you need to review the list. I used to review it every morning, early in the morning. I'd review my list and prioritize that list over again. And then do it, of course, you have to do it daily, then you have to do it weekly, and then monthly. Okay, so I use a computer. It's a lot easier and a lot faster if you do that. Then, of course, you'll be able to always working on the most important things first. Okay, and like Bill said, partition the time off so that without any distractions at all, at least an hour. I would think in the wintertime you could do at least an hour in the morning and another hour in the afternoon at least. But if you do that, you'll get some of these important things done. Hey, some pretty good ideas? Well, we all get caught up, don't we?
We sure do. We get distracted.
Yeah, and there's so many things going on, so many phone calls and the emails and the texting all going on. But if we get caught up in that, always putting out the fires, we're never going to get the important things done, and that's what moves your company forward. So I hope these ideas will sink deep today. They're hard, I know. You have to be disciplined. Start thinking about this. Create the master list, right? Prioritize them into the groups, and then prioritize. Excuse me. You have to create the 4 groups, then prioritize those in those groups, and then to select the ones you need to work on, and then you'll really make a difference in your company.
We recommend reading this book called The One Thing. Another one thing I recommend would be to look at the Stephen Covey First Things First book.
Yeah.
I'm a Quadrant 2 time management fan. That really talks about your high leverage points. It talks about your roles, goals, and activities. And this is so important. Ed and I are going to be working on this as a whole lesson within the library at the Academy. We think it's that important. There's not one person we've met in this industry yet that is totally organized and has a mastery of their time. A lot of people have done some great things. They've been working really, really hard, probably too hard, right? We all work hard. So let's work less, let's make more, and let's focus on one thing at a time. This is Head Harvester Bill Armin.
And Head Harvester Ed LaFlamme.
We'll see you next time.
I know one thing we have to do right now.
You better
Bill.
get there.
We have to get lunch. That's right. That's the one thing we have to do.
That's the one thing we need to do.
That's right. I'm hungry.